Okay, I'm going to say something that people may or may not agree with. People don't actually want rules. They want rules until the rules hit their favorite game. Because that's exactly what just happened with Clair Obscur Expedition 33, getting its Indie Game Awards wins yanked over generative AI use. And the big question is simple. Should it have lost those awards? Or is this one of those internet purity test moments where everyone loses? Today I'm breaking down what happened, what the awards were actually judging, and whether this is fair or just a PR panic move. So, here's the situation. At the Indie Game Awards, run by a 6-1 indie, Expedition 33 originally won Game of the Year and Best Debut Game. And then those awards were retracted. Why? Because the show has a strict eligibility stance. If a game was developed using generative AI, it's not eligible. And in this case, the organizers say the studio agreed no Gen AI was used when it was submitted. But later, Gen AI use was confirmed, and that triggered the disqualification. Then the awards got reassigned. Game of the Year went to Blueprints, Best Debut went to Sorry We're Closed. And that's where the internet split into two teams. Good, AI is poison. And the second, this is dumb, it was minor, placeholder, patched out. So, who's right? I'm gonna defend the unpopular side first. If your award show says no Gen AI, and a game used Gen AI, then it shouldn't win. That's literally what the rules mean. Because awards aren't just about what's the best game. They're about what the award is trying to represent. And the Indie Game Awards were pretty explicit. They want to celebrate indie work without Gen AI pipelines. So if a game breaks that rule, even in a small way, the award show has two options. Enforce it, or admit the rule is fake. And once you let one slide, good luck saying no later when a studio says, yeah, we only use Gen AI for some textures and some concept art and some marketing and some voice cleanup. Suddenly, the no AI award becomes the AI is fine, just don't get caught award. Also, and people keep dodging this, the transparency part matters. The organizers said there was an agreement at submission that no Gen AI was used, but later Gen AI use was confirmed. Even if you love the game, that's still a problem for an award show trying to keep its criteria consistent. So from the award show's point of view, they either enforce the rule or the whole thing is meaningless. Now, the other side. A lot of reporting and commentary around this point to Gen AI being used in a limited way discussed as a placeholder assets early on, and or textures that were spotted and then patched out. So people ask, hold on, if it wasn't part of the final creative identity, why nuke the win? And honestly, that question is fair, because AI use isn't one thing anymore. That's a huge difference between using Gen AI to replace artists and ship AI content as your final product versus using it as a temporary draft tool and replacing it before release. And if the show is going to draw a hard line, it needs to be able to explain that line in a way that makes sense in the real world. Because here's the real danger of zero tolerance. It encourages secrecy. If studios think any disclosure equals instant disqualification, they'll just say nothing. And then the whole industry becomes, trust me bro, we didn't use it, while everyone plays detective zooming in on brick textures like it's the JFK assassination. So yeah, the awards enforcing their rule is consistent, but it can also create a system where honesty gets punished harder than actual wrongdoing. So, here's my answer, and I'm going to be annoyingly reasonable. Yes, if the Indie Game Awards rule is no Gen AI, then Expedition 33 should lose those awards. Not because the devs are evil, not because the game is suddenly trash, but because an award is not just a trophy. It's a fucking statement. If the statement of that specific show is we don't want to reward Gen AI usage, then it has to mean it. But, and this is the important part, the award show also needs to admit something. Their rule is too blunt for where the industry is heading. So if they want to keep credibility long term, they need better categories and clearer standards. So here's a policy that would actually work. First, mandatory disclosure. If you use Gen AI anywhere, you disclose it. No shame, just the facts. Differentiate placeholder versus shit. If Gen AI made it into the final release, that's a different tier of violation than temporary internal drafts. 3. Create an AI-assisted track or separate recognition, not as a reward, but as a classification, like be honest about what tools were used. 4. Make consequences proportional. If a game shipped AI content and tried to hide it, disqualify. If a game used placeholder tools early and replaced everything, maybe that's a disclosure penalty, not a nuclear strike. Because right now, the conversation is stuck at AI equals always evil versus AI equals who cares? While the real issue is consent, training data ethics, job displacement, and transparency. That's what people are actually mad about. So should Expedition 33 have lost those awards? If the award show rules are no Gen AI, then yes, it had to happen. But the real story isn't the trophy. It's that we're entering an era where every studio is going to touch AI tools somewhere, and award shows are going to keep face planting until they write rules that reflect reality. Now I want your take. Do you want zero tolerance even for placeholders? Or do you want rules that focus on what ships, how it's used, and whether it replaces humans? Drop it in the comments, and if you want, I'll do a follow-up on where the industry is probably heading with AI disclosure labels on Steam and store pages, because that conversation is coming whether we like it or not. Like, sub, and I'll see you in the next one.